Hey everyone, this is Frugal Panda here. I thought I'd do a video related to Eastern Oregon, a review of Eastern Oregon. I got a question or someone asked me, well, what do you think of Eastern Oregon? Because I never really talk about it. Now, my opinion is coming from someone who's a visitor. I've been to Eastern Oregon 3 different times. I've been to Oregon 4 times, but 3 different times I went on road trips. So that's my opinion as a visitor. That's all it is, just my opinion. But maybe it helps someone. People are curious what people think. First off, with Eastern Oregon culturally seems like it has more in common with Idaho than it does with the western side of Oregon. Also, the climate and everything like that, it's kind of similar, I'd say, depending on where you're at. If you're not along the Snake River, type of thing in Idaho. Would I live there? No, I would not. But it's probably not for the reason people think. The reason I wouldn't live there is it's just not an area I want to live in. I want to be closer to the ocean. That's just how it is. So we're going to talk about a couple of things with Eastern Oregon. Not any large cities in Eastern Oregon, of course. There's farmland, things like that. Party-wise, if you're talking like political, I'd say Eastern Oregon is going to be largely Republican. That does not mean there's not people there that are like, say, libertarians, Democrats, things like that. But I say it's largely Republican and maybe right-leaning independents is what I'd guess. So if that, weighs in on where you think about living, that may be something for you to think about. Diversity-wise, and I talk about diversity because a lot of people watch my videos and they want to know. And a lot of people haven't been to these states, to be honest with you, and they want to know, hey, will I feel comfortable? Will I feel uncomfortable? Will I get looks? Will there be any drama or anything I need to be prepared for on my way on this road trip if I do this road trip, or maybe I don't want to do it if it's like that. Eastern Oregon, of course, is not as diverse as, say, Portland or, say, Eugene. Now, when I say diverse, none of them are going to be, say, as diverse as, say, Denver. Let's say that. So even those areas are not going to be as diverse. And you're talking from a Black American perspective. Now, I looked it up. I took where Harper, Oregon is. I can't remember the name of the county, but I looked at that county. So for Black Americans, it's like 1.2%. So that's why I probably guess a lot of those areas are. It's around 1% or so. So is it devoid of Black Americans? No, but there's very few. Let's be honest on that, okay? Those of you who are Hispanic backgrounds, and I would guess largely Mexican Americans in that area, it's very diverse in a lot of those areas. So looking at, like I said, Harper County, that county that it's located in, it's like 30-some%. So 3 in 10 people are of Hispanic background. Me going there at different times, I never got any glances. I think I got one glance from a dude, and the glance I got, and I tell people, remind yourself of this. If you're going to areas where there's not a lot of people that look like you, some people sometimes when they look at you or they glance at you, it's not that it's like, what are you doing here? Things like that. It's a surprise to them. They're looking like, whoa, okay. I haven't seen a person look like this in a while. And they might, where are you from? Type of things. It's not necessarily like that a side eye for a bad reason. They just don't know. They're like, whoa, okay, So, but never felt anything there, stuff like that. But my perspective now, remember, my perspective is coming from, 1, a visitor, 2, coming from someone, I'm a male. I actually enjoy driving through Eastern Oregon. I do not enjoy the speed limit. And I understand the speed limit because how small the highways are. I totally get it. But oh my God, I can hit Boise super fast from Denver. But getting through Eastern Oregon, because that 55, 50, 45 in places, it takes forever. And Oregon's a big state. Now, how it looks there, like I said, kind of deserty in areas, then some farmland. Some towns are ran down, some towns are cute. You pump your own gas. Maybe there are some places, people from Oregon, maybe there are some, any place I would stop to get gas, I had to pump it myself, which is not a big deal to me because Oregon's the only place I've ever been where someone pumps your gas, But yeah, that's different. I don't think I didn't get my gas pumped until I got to Bend, Eastern Oregon. You got to think about what you want when you're there. If you're looking at moving there, is it a place you're wanting to move because you got kids and you're like, hey, I'm tired of all the social media crap and them staring at their phones. You want to get some land and get some chickens and goats and whatever, and have a little bit more of them having an outdoor lifestyle and things like that. It'd probably be really good for you. Education system out there, it's going to depend. Is it going to be weaker? More than likely it is. Just funding. It comes down a lot of times to funding. Will it be bad? No. Parents play a large role in how good an education is for their kids and how they interact. Poverty level there is about 20%. Looking online, 20 some percent, low 20s, I would guess, which is pretty high, but pretty average for most small towns. If you know anything about small towns, you know that poverty is usually pretty high. But the difference is in small towns, poverty looks sometimes different than poverty in the city. So in the city, the cost of living is very high. The cost of just having an apartment is very high. In small towns, you could say work at your local gas station and have an apartment, maybe a little mobile home. And I'm not knocking mobile homes. I'm just saying, if it was me personally, I grew up partly in Indiana, I would have a mobile home because they're cheap and you get a lot of room, as long as there ain't no tornadoes. And you could have a car. You could actually, have a car too. And you can live. You may not have everything you want, but you got a lot of times what you need, type of thing, versus in the city, more than likely you won't have a car. You depend on public transportation, a lot of different stuff. The actual crime you have to navigate is a lot more, not because of the type of people in the city. It's just a city has 1 million people. You just have all these people on top of each other. So that's the difference. So that's what, something to consider. But if you're looking to move for that, to have your kids have a better life in regards to outdoors and stuff, I would guess it'd be pretty cool. If you're looking to move because you're retiring and your income's lower, or you just want to save money to travel, yeah, you can get some land, you can get whatever you need out there and use it as a base operation to travel. Or if it's just your income is lower, you can live a fairly normal life. I just recommend that you research and see where a major hospital is in case you need it, if you have any type of treatments or stuff like that. So a lot of times is a struggle for small town USA is they don't have as many hospitals and they definitely don't have as many specialists. So that's just something to consider too. Just use common sense, anybody out there. As I said, personally, I wouldn't move there. And the reason I wouldn't is I want to be closer to the Pacific Ocean. And yes, Oregon is closer to the Pacific Ocean, but that's a drive down, from Eastern Oregon into Eugene and all those places to be able to cut over to, to the ocean a lot of times, So that'd be my main reason. And also I want to be near a large city. Doesn't necessarily mean I want to live in this large city. I say large city, a city. So, 150,000 and up. But close enough that I can hit the major city, in 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and go back to, my regular lifestyle, type of thing. So I'm not knocking the area. I thought it was fairly decent. I thought it was cool in a lot of areas. It's cute in a lot of areas. Food is not as diverse. Just because it's small town USA. A lot of times the foods overlap in a lot of these areas. I mean, a small town in Oregon on the Eastern Plains or whatever, their food's a lot of times going to be similar to a small town in Eastern or Western Kansas. A lot of the same stuff. It depends what you want. Will there be some specialty stuff? Yeah, a few, but not as many as say you went to Portland or Bend or Eugene or Salem or, any of those places, or you went to the beach towns. But I always do when I go through small town USA, no matter where I'm at, I get a burger. I always do get a burger because they're always good. I find some the shack. Like something like a shack. I had to, get my spouse to understand. She's like, why are we going to this place? It looks kind of run down. Trust me. That burger's made with love, type of thing. She's like, whoa, this is probably the best burgers I've ever had. Talking about different places we went. I said, I told you. Oh, I know how they operate. They made that with love. This is mama's recipe or something. So Anyway, go check it out. Diversity wise, yeah, depending on what population you're part of, it may not look as diverse to you, but it may look diverse to someone else. Go check it out. Don't worry. Use common sense any of these places you go, I mean, that's just common sense. I'm not going to go to the local, they'll say you got a trailer park, not a nice one. My dad growing up, he lived in a real nice one, like nice area. I'm not going to go to the local trailer park that's ran down and go hang out there. People don't be having common sense, it might be tweakers, it might be all types of stuff, just use common sense what you're doing. Didn't have any problems with the cops, didn't have any problems with anybody. The one glance I think I got from one older gentleman was probably, it looked like a surprise glance, like, whoa, type of thing, and then he saw my military tags on my car and, started asking me about the military and stuff. Small towns are a lot more veteran friendly, military friendly. It's dependent, the Army, the Marines, these two branches are highly dependent on small town USA and urban areas of cities. So it's a lot more friendly. Someone has somebody that took off because people trying to get out, young people want to get out of town, go check out the world, maybe come back. A lot of them don't come back and go somewhere else when they do get out. So go check it out. Road trip. I tell everybody, do not be afraid to get on the road and go on these road trips. Go check out stuff. Use common sense when driving. Oh, rest stops. Don't let me forget this. So the small towns can be very spread apart, but don't worry, there's lots of rest stops along the way to take breaks, take a nap, go to sleep. There's bathrooms, and they're so easy to get to. They're really easy to get to. They're right along the roads, and they're real basic. There's not gonna be 1,000 people there either, so that's something to keep in mind. But hit the road, go have fun, go check it out. At least you can say you did it. At least you can say you did it. Honestly, when I hit Eastern Oregon, I get really excited because I know before you know it, I'm going to be hitting Bend, and then I'm going to be hitting Sisters, and I get really excited. I'm like, oh yeah, we're here. Depending on what you need in life, what you want in life, this may be a place you want to live. Go do your research. Make sure you're getting the area you want. Look at the weather. Things like that. Does it fit your needs? But ultimately, that's what I think of. I honestly, I can't say anything negative about it. It's just not my cup of tea to live there. That's partly because I grew up in Indiana in a small town, partly, and then moved with my mother when I was a young teenager, like 12 or so, to California. So I've seen both sides. I went from a small town to a bigger city with great weather. I lived in Indiana too. So I don't want to go back to a small town like that unless it's on the ocean and I can get to a city pretty fast type of thing. And it's got a lot of cool places to eat and ride my bike and do stuff like that. And I'm in, and also looking at those areas too, you might find a small town that's next to a lake or, a body of water or a river or something. And it fits your needs perfectly what you want. Anyway, try to take this in one take. I want to thank everyone. Thank you so much for watching my videos. And I hope this helps someone. Hit the road, everyone. Get out there. Spend some money in these small towns. Go get a burger. Get some gas, whatever. Check out everyone. It's good to see different faces for a lot of these small towns too. To see different people and interact with different people and, have a conversation. Because sometimes we don't interact with each other. And when people don't interact with each other, they hold opinions about each other that a lot of times aren't true. Have fun, everyone. Thank you for watching. Frugal Panda out.